So I am hoping that my computer does not like burst into flames from the effort of trying to stream and have Photoshop open. My backup plan was just to like draw on paper with like the worst stream setup ever. But fortunately, I can share my screen, which honestly bodes well for. I only have like two other ideas of things I want to stream. They would be like kind of in the future from now, because I am in Japan right now and I want to enjoy my time here. Uh, I just, for some reason, the other day, I just like really was like, I want to stream. I don't know why I wanted to do that, but I did. Uh, and so I got this all set up. Yeah. The other things I wanted to stream are kind of for the last few years. I've been like, do I want to do like a video about Franbo? Uh, because I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about it, but I don't know if I could like one, I don't know if I could possibly put that in essay form. And two, I kind of already talked about it at the end of my Metal Gear Solid 2 video. Like it was brief, but I feel like I said like most of the main things of what I want to say about it and what it means to me. Um, but if I wanted to dig deeper, I feel like the best thing to do, especially since in I believe August it is the 10-year anniversary of that game, which is wild because uh, that means it's been in my life for like 9 years now. Uh, is I want to just like stream it and just like talk about it and talk about stuff in it as it happens. Just unpack it, live commentary, not in a super like organized format. The other thing I want to stream, which might seem silly, is I want to stream Shadow the Hedgehog 2005. um, I sort of got into Sonic last year. I say sort of got it. I played the adventure games to like 80 to 90% completion. I got as far as I could with my current gamer skills. I got stuck in both of them near the end. I know that people like constantly talk about like the SnapTube like fan dubs or whatever, but I mean I've seen them and I don't know if this is like heretical to say, but they didn't like actually make me laugh that hard. Maybe I'm just like too funny. Like nothing phases me anymore. Suffering for success. So it wasn't the fan dubs, it was specifically Penny and Mar play uh, Shadow the Hedgehog. And then from there, I watched their Sonic Unleashed uh, playthrough. And I think that those like changed my brain chemistry. And now I like Sonic. And then I watched the movie, of course. There was good stuff. Everyone, all the voice actors did a great job. It was like very heartfelt. And, I mean, kind of in the same way that I like magical girl stuff and like Precure and things like that. Sonic just like really does like scratch that same just like I think that joy is good. I have love in my heart. I have opened my heart to Sonic and their little friends. This is my autism rite of passage, I guess. I finally got into Sonic in my 20s. I haven't drawn a single fucking thing yet. Shadow the Hedgehog 2005 was kind of what got me into Sonic, which is kind of silly to say because I know that people like shit on that game, but it's like very charming and I want to play it for myself, even if it's hard uh, and silly. But like the adventure games were also hard and silly, so my like idea for if I was going to draw something like in Photoshop would be some MGS2 stickers. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do it. Make my own Noradora sticker sheet. starting with the doomed siblings ever. Oh yeah, I haven't like commented on it yet, but I'm playing the Slay the Princess OST album because that game took over my brain after Save Data played it. I didn't like fall in love with it like instantly. Like I remember the first time I was like, I think that the art is nice. I sure hope this doesn't take over my brain entirely. And then like a couple weeks in, I was like, okay, I'm starting to see the vision. And then I bought it for myself and just kept falling in love with it. And kind of the rest is history. And now I have all the achievements and stuff like that. And I'm like almost certainly, if I can get my ass to stop playing Potionomics and like lock in Slay the Princess video essay, hopefully coming this year. Because there's like, I think I was like kind of underestimating like how popular that game is because it's still quite niche. Like I remember seeing probably a couple things about it in like my YouTube recommended when it originally came out. I'm ashamed to say I only got into it after the Pristine Cut, but I don't think that's actually very shameful because Pristine Cut has some of the best stuff in the game. I'll like get into it in the video obviously, but like Happily Ever After like is horror on a level that is like hard to put into words because it just like is in your bones. I love the body horror in that game. It makes me insane. I think I was kind of inspired by it for the Emma animatic, the body horror at the end of that. Well, actually, no, that's not true because I had the whole thing storyboarded back in like August, and then only had the chance to like actually sit down and like draw like 40 colored pencil drawings during my like brief break from school. Hello to anyone who's watching this as a VOD for some reason. Thank you for choosing to put my silly little stream on instead of any other number of more put together streamers. You can do what I do and just put on the same Salty DK Dan and Biz Out play FNAF Security Breach streams over and over.
You can make a Simpson. Oh my god! It literally crashed the second I said
Are
Simpson.
you kidding me? No way! No freaking way! Every time we talk about the fucking Simpsons,
This is actually
the game
insane.
crashes.
Never gets old. I just like milk it for all its comedy, and it's still funny. God, I fucking love this OST. Like, Brandon Boone, I think the composer is like truly understood the assignment. There's like the same few just like basic melodies that make up like all of the theme, but it's arranged so differently that you don't even notice, like with different instrumentation to fit. And oh my god, it's like the musical storytelling with, because yeah, it's like it's all part of the same loop. It's all you are her, she is you. Person who made the like Oberdin animation and animated hand-drawn short film about like body and autonomy and stuff is a fan of the pencil art body horror existential horror game Fork Found in Kitchen. I mean, it feels like selfish or like self-aggrandizing to like compare myself to like Black Tabby Games or whatever, but I gotta just like call it like I see it. I don't know. And also my brain is mean to me anyway, so like shut the fuck up, brain. Besides Photoshop on my phone, sometimes I use Ibis Paint. That's the first digital art thing I used. I mean, there's one drawing I did of Sayaka from Madoka Magica like back in the day that I'm still genuinely quite proud of, and it's insane to me that I drew that with my finger. I I hate feet. Even in chibi form, it's like they're so hard to draw, and they are annoying, and even in real life, they're just like I appreciate what they do for us, but like they suck so bad. Absolute F tier. Inflicts you with disease that makes you play a game and then tell other people to play the game. Same with Great Ace Attorney, where you like have to send it on to another person. Like as soon as you finish it, you're like, "Holy shit, this is the best game ever." Someone needs to hear about this. Yes, I will absolutely draw Otacon eating a sandwich. I'll probably draw Raiden holding a trans flag too. He's gonna be working hard, gaming. I say that as if I mean he probably does game. Coding, doing hacking into the mainframe, hacking photosynthesis. Are you a hacker? Sorry, that line is so fucking funny. I fucking love you, Otacon. Genuinely best character. I think it's probably just because like I kind of don't care when it's like oh, I'm a war criminal. Yeah, fuck, just die. But Otacon is just like a dude, and he's funny, and hashtag relatable. But he's also like a fucking incredibly tragic like exploration of like generational trauma and inheriting and breaking the cycle and all of that, the goofy and the serious, like in one character, who's just like a silly guy. I fucking love you, Otacon, my beloved. I could give him the Gundam shirt I always draw him in. Oh yeah, I feel like I should mention this at some point. I've only seen slash played the first three Metal Gear Solid games, not because I don't want to play the others, not at all. It's because they're not on PC, and that's the only console, if you can call it that, that I have. So Konami, if you could please port those, please. I'll buy your fucking games, please. Same with Sega Sonic Team. Like if you put Sonic Unleashed on PC, I will play it. I promise. You're printing money. Why buy other machine to play game when one game do trick? My parents didn't really like video games. Like they grew up in the the fucking like Pac-Man era or whatever. So to them that's kind of what video games are, and they probably heard some like fucking news media about like Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat, or something like that, and the fucking video games. Not that like that isn't like a big problem. I love MGS too, and that's kind of about that. At least the sort of gaming that I do is like single player indie games. I'm one of those woke gamers that the dude bros are always complaining about. There's no politics. Video games are bad. I only play good video games if it's I mean that's the thing also is that Metal Gear is not the kind of game that I would normally play. MGS is like not only anti-war in like a messaging sense, but in a very like, I mean, the fucking MGS3 like River of the Dead thing is like, I will say this over and over, even though I've never said it online before. That could be in like the Odyssey or the Iliad or something. Like, doesn't that sound like the warring like quote unquote protagonist like goes to the underworld and like has to wade through like one of the rivers to and like bear witness to everyone that they like it like incredible, transcendent. And I mean that's one of the things I respect the most about those games is that they like really like are aware of video games like the I mean, I'm American, and like one thing I guess I could say is that the thumbnail that I drew, I did not lie. I am indeed wearing the blue shirt, tan pants combo, plus the coolest item of clothing I own, this jacket that I found in a secondhand store, and then put some lesbian pins on, and so my flag to the back. I fucking love this jacket so much. If I ever feel the need to fly out in person for a future video, the only one that I felt the need to do that for was the MGS2 video. I kind of knew for most of the time that I was writing that, like, what the final line was going to be, that I was going to say, like, you deserve to be free as the final line. And for that, I feel like it hits way more if it's like visibly a person saying it than if it's just like a shitty voiceover. And I mean, I also get I get personal in that. It's kind of hard not to. MGS2 is like a game that ends with like impassioned turning to the viewer and asking like to like please make the world a little bit of a better place, which is like the meaning of life in my opinion. It's like real life footage in New York City, like real kid, like, oh my god. So yesterday I went to Kyoto. At one temple there was like a really young kid chasing a pigeon, and like my soul is like restored. I hate crowds, but even just like being in a place where there's like people speaking multiple languages and like kids being fussy in strollers, and people like helping like old women in a wheelchair, and they're all like going around, and there's like moss. I love the world. I genuinely, for like the whole time that I've been in Japan, every time I go out, I'm just like, I think that the world is good actually. In Sonic Unleashed, a game that I would like to play, there's this like life-changing scene where Chip is like, I've been here since the planet was born, but I didn't know a thing about it. That it was so beautiful, or that food could taste so good, or that people could be so nice. Thank you for exploring the world with me, Sonic. Sorry, it's just really funny that I was talking about fucking Chip from Sonic Unleashed, and then the apotheosis comes on. It's so like sweet and heartfelt. I like Sonic. This is why I like Sonic. It is really funny to me that like the quote unquote Dark Ages games are like the games that convinced me to give Sonic a shot. I fucking love Shadow the Hedgehog. I love Sonic. I love Knuckles and Amy and Tails. I want to keep getting more into Sonic because it makes me feel like childhood joy. I wish I'd had Sonic in my life sooner, honestly. I love it when I come across media like that, like Star Twinkle Precure when it came out. I was like, my like 4 or 5-year-old self would have gone nuts. It's like drawing and space themed, which would have been super appealing to like tiny me. The Fury. Oh, the Fury. I love you. That is like potentially the best design in the game. Like it's oh my god. It's so cunty. Play this shit in the club. The princess should have been at the club. I'm just glad that I can share my screen and it's like somewhat competent. As competent as I can be. Is it really a hashtag Noradora video if it isn't like a little bit scuffed in a like hopefully endearing way? The better I get at like anatomy stuff, the more I'm like, you get you gain like new nemesis, like hands. Obviously, everyone hates hands. Knees and elbows are so weird. Like there's so many shapes in the bone. It's like made of like a. It looks like a fucking like squished together like clay ball. You just have to like account for it. It sucks. Sorry. For some reason, every time I draw Emma's shorts, I just think about the fucking segment in that game, the swimming one. I love MGS2 with all my heart, but yeah, I mean, I've played it myself a couple times now, and oh my god, the fucking controls in that bit. Even on easy mode, that I messed up and Emma drowned in that section. I'm just like, I'm so fucking sorry. I hope that this doesn't, like, I was playing with my friend. I was like, I really hope that me sucking at the game doesn't diminish the emotional impact. Actually, no, I remember one time that happened. It was, like, in the part where, like, Stillman is floating. And so the game over, the fish and mailed screen was just, like, Emma's shorts and the other dead body in the water. It was so bad. Like, this is a cursed fucking image. The thing about the MGS2 gameplay is, like, I will be the first to admit that it is a little bit scuffed. It was a PlayStation 2 game. This game is older than I am, so, like, I'm gonna fucking forgive it. Also, like, having played the Sonic Adventure game semi-recently, it's like, that's just an old game thing. Like, I mean, the controls are fine. I'm just bad at them. Like, I'm pretty sure that those like final space stages in Sonic Adventure 2 are supposed to be like super fun. But it was giving me a fear of heights. Like, if I fall, I fucking die. Not like in a pit or whatever. Like, I fall to Earth from space. It's actually kind of the same thing as the Emma thing, where like I hope that doesn't like reduce the emotional impact that Shadow kept falling. Stay tuned for when I eventually figure out how to emulate Shadow the Hedgehog 2005 and go off about how that game is like a messy E10 plus MGS2 attempt. Or just watch Nezumi VA's video. It's one of... I mean, she makes good videos in general. I disagree with her about Danganronpa, obviously, if you know the one... Until I made the modesty video, the Danganronpa one was the one that I like kept getting comments on. And I just like didn't fucking care. It's like I'm not fucking engaging with this. Actually, Chihiro isn't trans. It's like, I'm saying that the entire text of the thing is that women are like inherently different from men and that trans people don't exist. Like, that's what they're fucking saying. You can't give me like a fucking in-text actually. Sorry, not to get into Chihiro stuff, because that always, you know, I don't want to scratch that itch too much before it opens up again. There was a period before I made that video where that would just like, where I would just like start thinking about that sometimes, like at work, and just like get mad all over again. And then I made a video about it and it went away. Turns out that when you write things down, it does not bother you as much, or at least for me. Maybe that doesn't work for everything, but it probably doesn't work for everything. But for me, when I like, there's a thing in a story that bothers me, if I just like kind of write about it briefly, then like it's no longer gonna haunt me. Emma. I understand, like, on a thematic level, like, why she died, but I do still, like, maybe one day if I have infinite time, I'll, like, write a fic where she lives and she and Raiden start dating, and Raiden, like, and both of them kind of work through their stuff together. And Raiden comes out, obviously. Obviously, I say. I mean, I talked about this in the video. In my mind, Raiden is a trans woman. Like, Raiden is, like, simultaneously about, like, socialized, like, hypermasculinity and, like, militarism for, like, obvious reasons, but also, like, I mean, I don't know if any of y'all have read the pinned comment on the MGS2 video. Content warning, I'm going to talk about some, like, sexual violence stuff. There is, like, very much a, like, a level of sexual violence with Raiden that's, like, as soon as I, like, kind of noticed it felt, like, so obvious and pervasive. Well, there's the Trump moment, and then there's the torture room scene, which has an energy completely different from the MGS1 torture room scene. I mean, it is obviously, like, very disturbing and everything, because, like, duh, but, like, Snake, like, his arms are not connected to his body. It's, like, a PS1 model, and it's, like, kind of funny looking. But in MGS2, it's, like, oh, they are, like, naked and tied up, and their dad is right there and, like, talking about using them right after the whole Emmerich sibling section. And then the Patriots show up, obviously, and like, I don't think it's a coincidence that Raiden is naked throughout that whole section, and when he's at, like, at his most vulnerable. Well, and then immediately after that, he has the conversation with Rose, where he says, like, no matter where I go, I get used. And he's very much, like, talking to her as, like, was sleeping with me a part of the job? Like, this feels like a shitty thing to say. The, like, Raiden's trauma is, like, the socialized masculinity, but also the, like, objectification, like, with the Patriots and, like, their whole life, and ultimately, like, trying to, the whole ending, I'll find my own name and my own future. I mean, I talked about that, like, why it's so important that the Emmerich siblings are in the story, but I feel like a lot of that applies to Raiden too. Sorry if any of that was, like, too disturbing, or the thing about, like, talking about, like, Raiden and sexual violence is, like, I really don't think I'm, like, stretching or making anything up with this. Like, I have one drawing. Hold on. This is the one that I drew, which I feel like kind of encapsulates, like, pretty much my thoughts about this whole thing. I mean, I'm gonna be real, like, I think I kind of cooked with this. That's the thing also about this that really strikes me about that scene, is, like, that it's the tattoos and the dog tag, which are, like, such clear signs of, like, this like depersonalized militarism and violence against them, and the digital part of it. Genuinely, for when I was coming up with the pose for this, I wasn't thinking of this actively, but as soon as I like finished it, I was like, wait, this is literally the perfect blue thing, which is kind of insane because like perfect blue is like very much in line with MGS2 thematically speaking, the same sort of like unreality and like digital horror and like exacerbation of existing forms of violence and oppression in like scary ways in the digital age. The other thing I wanted to show, because I can't shut up about Slay the Princess, is this giant drawing that I did. It's like a little bit messy, but like that's kind of the point. If it wasn't like a little bit messy, then it wouldn't be hashtag Slay the Princess. Because I find that sketchiness of the art to be such a charming feature. But I kind of went out of my comfort zone for this drawing, because like I can draw women just fine. I love women, but like doing creatures and doing horror like this, I'm so fucking proud of my idea for this, like adding color, that it's like it's all of the colors together in this fucking abomination, which is like kind of tonally the exact same as the Stranger, but like not visually the same way that they are. Princess and the Dragon, my beloved. I'm actually so like happy with that, how that one turned out. The Wraith, God, the fucking Moment of Clarity is a 10 out of 10 design. Like, it's so good. Women. I did this without any references, by the way. I mean, that's not true. I looked at pictures of the princesses, but like pose references, I was just kind of winging it. God, I fucking love the Fury. She ended up looking like the Statue of Liberty, and that wasn't intentional. I just thought that blue was like a good color for her, and the star crown was like a cool, like, and like kind of thematically consistent idea. The Razor. Why did I say that with the intonation of like the Visitor or whatever meme? Happily Ever After. I'm actually so happy with how I did the deconstructed damsel. I think it like looks good and like messy in the right way. Like the hard eyes, the like circle boobs. It's not good in the correct way. Grays, my beloved. They're so pretty. I love their dress. I think that it's because they're the only ones that have like their hair up. I fucking hate drawing chains. They're so annoying. Oh my god, the cage. The Prisoner and the Wild, I'm like so happy with how I got their expressions in the sketchiness. And the Razor, of course, but you know. She always slays. God, I love the Wild. It's like potentially my favorite route. No, that's not true. It's probably either Prince of the Dragon or Happily Ever After. But I'm like actually quite happy with. This is not what I'm used to drawing. I draw people usually, so the den actually looks good. Wild. And of course the Witch. I'm very happy with the Witch. She looks like a lion. And she has body hair. I'm gonna print this out probably at some point. Put it on my wall. Okay. Why the frick did Kiss Ross just punch Chris Ross in the penis?
Okay, why the frick did Kiss Ross just punch Chris Ross in the penis?
I mean, you can see my fucking webcam right now. if my hair was like a little bit longer and curlier, like I would look almost exactly like Emma. It's actually been a while since I drew Emma in a digital format. So used to getting out the old reliable pink Prismacolor for her. I do love Emma, but I don't think I can forgive her for going into AI. But I mean, by that measure, I couldn't forgive Otacon for going into fucking weapons development. So, you know what? Scratch that. God forbid women do anything. If I was the long quiet, I would have just let the nightmare out. Sucks to be them. Why didn't he just decide to take her up on the offer to be her little pet in a golden cage? Is he stupid? Oh my god! Sorry, I'm looking at my phone and I'm realizing I did the thing because of the difference in like color between my phone and computer. That her skin looks way more yellow than it should. The Beast is so cool. I fucking love that chapter. The Den, like, oh my god, it's so good. I think that might be like a slightly unpopular opinion. I know that like not everyone likes the Beast in the Den, but I do. I think they're awesome. Sorry, I just like remembered that one FNAF fan thing. It's like the most disturbing fan game or whatever, and it's just he ate them. And because of the Den, she ate them. Holy shit. She ate him. Speaking of FNAF, the other day occasionally I'll watch Fiznom's streams or videos or whatever, and it was like the saying goodbye to FNAF stream. But at the beginning of that, he watched the Mimic song, and I have not cried laughing in a long time. And that it got me.
My name is David. Dad, I want some ice cream. David, that is my name. David, I want another. David, where is my ball? I'm running out on the road. There is a car. And this is going to
I was like tears in my eyes, screaming with laughter. So I'm glad I happened upon that. This isn't even like true for most of the game. Most of the game is like orange. When I think of MGS2, I always think of like this sort of like greenish, grayish, blue, cyan color. You guys should watch Bizzabizow. She's cool. She makes funny videos. I haven't like looked at an actual reference picture for the Emmerich siblings in like so long. I just like draw them now. I can imagine anything. That's not true. Every time I try to imagine something, my brain like stops. He wears like fucking jeans or something. Do you remember pre-ripped jeans? No, I have to put him in pre-ripped jeans. The classic. Honestly, if my hair was a little bit longer, I could probably cosplay as Otacon too.